Canada is experiencing record inflation, a housing shortage, and the worst homelessness in many decades. Times are tough, but instead of coming up with solutions, far too much of Canadian society and industry is just making the situation worse. In this video, we're going to take a look at the massive level of food waste taking place in the Great White North and the impact of this food waste on Canada's economic struggle and the impact on citizens near the poverty line. How can Canada waste less food? How much of a difference could it make? How much food waste is actually going on in Canada? Canada wastes over 50 million tons of food each year, and 60% of this waste is avoidable through better planning and awareness. 53% of this food is wasted in the farm, processing, and restaurant industry, and the other 47% of waste occurs in people's homes. In Canada, the average household generates 79 kilograms of food waste annually. Despite Canada's commitment to cut food waste in half, challenges persist as 4 million Canadians, including 1.2 million children, live in food-insecure households and aren't getting proper nutrition or their food needs met. There are a number of reasons for this huge amount of food waste that's going on, ranging from improper storage and overbuying to confusion over food labels and poor planning. The impact of food waste on the environment is also substantial, with avoidable household food waste in Canada equating to an extra 2.1 million cars on the road, spewing out pollution and CO2. In terms of monetary value, the total value of wasted or lost food in Canada is $49 billion per year. A stunning 4.8 million tons of food valued at nearly $21 billion is lost during processing and manufacturing itself, and an additional 2.4 million tons, worth over $10 billion, is wasted at the consumer level in expired products, consumers not eating food in time, and spoiled or unused items. That $49 billion is a massive amount of lost value in food that will never be eaten. If this money were saved and issued in food stamps or subsidized prices, it could feed every Canadian citizen for 5 months. A recent report by Second Harvest, a Toronto agency dedicated to reducing food waste, reveals that approximately 1/3 of Canada's wasted food would be able to be saved instead of thrown out and could reach communities in need. This amounts to almost 36 million tons of food that could reach those who are struggling to find enough to eat. The report focuses on the entire food supply chain and includes primary data from both land and water food sources, making it a world first in terms of comprehensive measurement of food waste. The report identifies 2 types of food loss and waste: avoidable, which occurs when marketable produce goes unpurchased, and unavoidable, such as inedible byproducts like animal bones. Root causes of avoidable waste include consumers discarding extra food that they purchased during sales, disposing of food near or past its best before date, despite its edibility, and still being safely able to eat it, and produce left to rot in fields due to factors like labor shortages or low prices on the market. With this much food being wasted in Canada, it's time to take an honest look at the impact. How bad is the situation out there for Canadian families in terms of putting food on the table? It's much worse than many realize. In fact, a new report from the Salvation Army reveals that 1 in 4 Canadians is grappling with the increasing challenge of affording basic needs, with particular hardships faced by single parents. Food insecurity is a huge concern affecting 1 in 8 households in Canada, with 4.4 million people, including over 1.2 million children, experiencing it in 2018. In the realm of restaurants and food services, a staggering 21% of dairy, eggs, and field crops, 38% of produce, and 20% of meat end up in the garbage. The repercussions of such food waste reverberate beyond the confines of the business itself, affecting not only the profit margins, but also trickling down to impact the wallets of consumers who find themselves footing the bill and paying for that unnecessary waste. The economic deficit is also made worse by various factors embedded in the food production process, including labor, energy, transportation, infrastructure, and disposal disposal costs. The cumulative impact of these elements results in a substantial economic setback far surpassing the face value of discarded food. Tackling food waste isn't just about salvaging meals, it's about mitigating the collateral damage inflicted on the economy at large. The interconnectedness of food waste with poverty presents an opportunity for innovative solutions that not only address the immediate concern of hunger, but also contribute to sustainable development goals. In economies already grappling with soaring food prices, the continued inefficiency in managing food resources contributes to an unsustainable cycle and a race to the bottom. The 2023 Poverty and Socioeconomic Analysis, based on a survey of over 1,500 Canadians, highlights food affordability and housing security as major concerns in the face of inflation. According to the report, 25% of Canadians fear their income isn't enough to cover basic needs, a figure that rises to 40% for single-parent households. The struggle is especially acute for single-parent families where parents are sacrificing meals to make ends meet, with 45% reporting having to reduce how much food their family eats to just be able to afford basic groceries. Additionally, 22% of parents, particularly those in single-parent homes, 44%, are eating less so that their children or other family members can have enough. The report emphasizes the dire situation for single-parent families, where parents often go without food to support their children. John Murray, the Territorial Secretary for Communications with the Salvation Army Canada, stated that the figures are troubling, showing widespread struggles across the country. The report underscores the emotional, mental, and physical toll that the lack of affordability is taking on communities. The survey also found that 31% of single-person households and 30% of Canadian caregivers feel their annual income is insufficient for financial security. About 21% of respondents have had to reduce food intake to afford groceries, while 22% of parents are eating less to ensure their children or other family members have enough to eat. Despite the challenges, Canadians express hope that financial pressures will ease in the next 6 months. The Salvation Army, understanding the difficulty many Canadians are facing, plans to sustain its current levels of service to support those dealing with ongoing challenges. The organization aims to leverage the survey data to direct resources where they are needed most. The report comes at a time when the Liberal government has introduced measures such as grocery rebate to help Canadians cope with food inflation, but challenges persist, especially for single-parent households that may not be eligible for certain support. In addition to the serious economic implications, food waste also has severe environmental consequences. Annually, food waste in Canada results in approximately 56.6 million tons of carbon dioxide equivalent emissions. The Second Harvest report emphasizes the environmental impact of methane gas produced when food ends up in landfills, stating that it is 25 times more damaging to the environment than carbon dioxide. Now we come to the key question: what can be done to reduce food waste in Canada, and how much of a difference would it make? Efforts to address food waste include initiatives by various organizations, such as Food Banks of Quebec and Food Banks Canada, to redistribute extra and unused food. Community fridges and educational programs aim to reduce waste at the consumer level, but challenges remain, such as legal liability and lack of financial benefit. Much of Canada's excess food is discarded from grocery stores that don't sell it in time, and is comprised of things like bread, produce, prepackaged sushi, and other perishable items. The challenges in this industry include mature and risk-averse practices, thin profit margins, and reliance on outdated technology like computer-assisted ordering systems, or CAOs, which often inadequately forecast demand. When stores order way too much because they overestimated demand, it ends up reaching expiry and being thrown out. Recognizing the severity of the issue, several tech companies are also leveraging advanced analytics and artificial intelligence, or AI, to address the food waste problem, particularly in grocery stores. To overcome these hurdles, tech solutions are employing various strategies. Predictive modeling is one approach, utilizing data such as point-of-sale information, weather, news, trends, holidays, and demographics to accurately predict product demand. Some stores now employ AI-powered predictive modeling to make millions of accurate predictions per day, resulting in significant waste reduction. Another solution involves the use of machine learning tools such as Eden, adopted by Walmart, to screen produce for quality and freshness during sorting, reducing the reliance on time-consuming manual inspections. Eden's implementation at Walmart has reportedly saved over $2 billion in 5 years. Smart packaging, incorporating radio frequency identification and temperature indicators, is also being explored to assess the quality and shelf life of perishable items, leading to a 30% reduction in food waste and 12% higher margins, as demonstrated by Fresh Index, developed by German tech startup Senso. Dynamic pricing, where digital displays automatically lower prices as best before dates approach, is another innovation aimed at reducing food waste. Israeli startup Wasteless employs a machine learning technique called reinforcement learning for dynamic pricing, reducing waste, and boosting revenue for retailers. Scan-based trading and consignment, a novel business model, involves vendors assuming inventory responsibility and retailers only paying for sold products. Shelf Engine, a leading platform in this space, connects real-time information with machine learning to create highly accurate orders, resulting in increased profit margins for retailers. With grocery retailers committing to reducing food waste, these analytics-driven solutions not only align with moral imperatives, but also have the potential to significantly impact profits and contribute to global food security. Research indicates that analytical-based approaches to stocking shelves can result in a 7 to 10% increase in profits as well. In terms of food waste produced in the restaurant industry, this makes up about 13% of the wastage. The city of Vancouver generated 80,000 tons of food waste in 2019, for example, and a recent study revealed that 58% of it originated from the industrial, commercial, and institutional sectors. To address this issue, restaurants can take various steps, including utilizing surplus, B-grade or off-cut ingredients to create featured menu items. Using platforms like Food Mesh Marketplace connect businesses with surplus ingredients, collaborating with organizations like bettertable.ca to track and improve food waste practices, engaging with upcyclers such as Recru's Produce, Trendy, and Love the Grab, or use apps like Too Good to Go to sell unsold products at the end of the day, donating unused ingredients to local food recovery charities, and collaborating with local hobby farmers, composters, or recycling companies to repurpose old food. Restaurants can also invite customers to donate to local food recovery charities when paying their bills. This helps bridge the financial gap faced by these organizations in collecting, sorting, and redistributing surplus food, which does take some extra time and labor. Second Harvest's report includes 3 approaches to address food loss and waste, offering numerous recommendations for both industry and government. The proposed solutions aim to prevent waste at the source, improve the redistribution and donation of edible food, and manage waste when it occurs. Second Harvest emphasizes the need to destigmatize the process of feeding people with diverted food, urging a shift in perception from the word waste to surplus, emphasizing the perfectly edible nature of such food. The report calls for immediate action at the industry and government levels, with Second Harvest planning to present its findings and recommendations to federal government officials in pursuit of tangible change. When it comes to the 47% of food waste produced at home, there's a lot that can be done. While certain waste like bones and eggshells is unavoidable, more than 50% of food waste in Toronto's single-family households is preventable, for example. Common reasons for avoidable waste include overbuying, poor meal planning, and improper food storage. Avoidable food waste is estimated to cost the average Canadian household over $1,300 annually. For its part, the City of Toronto advocates for small lifestyle changes, such as planning meals in advance, checking existing food supplies before shopping, and using perishables early in the week. Proper storage practices, like setting the fridge temperature to 4 degrees Celsius or lower, contribute to preserving freshness. Additionally, freezing items extends their lifespan. Bread, chicken, and vegetables can last several months when frozen. Learning creative ways to repurpose commonly wasted food, such as making chips from potato peels or utilizing carrot tops for pesto, further reduces waste. The campaign emphasizes that a best before date does not indicate expiration for unopened packages, and experimenting with pickling helps preserve fruits and vegetables for later use. The good news for reducing food waste as well is that Canadians show they do care about this issue and food sustainability. A recent survey from Lager Marketing Company highlights a significant shift in Canadian dietary preferences towards sustainable food habits. With over 1,500 participants, the survey conducted by Legger reveals that 87% of Canadians view sustainable eating as an immediate concern, reflecting a widespread understanding of environmental responsibility. Particularly noteworthy is the awareness among young adults, with 98% in the 18 to 24 age group expressing a commitment to sustainable practices. While Canadians actively engage in eco-friendly behaviors such as reducing food waste, choosing seasonal produce, and supporting local products, the survey identifies a gap between intentions and actions. Financial limits and established eating habits pose challenges, yet there is a willingness to make changes, such as reducing animal protein and dairy intake. When shopping for groceries, price remains the most important factor for Canadians, followed by taste and nutritional value. But eliminating food waste and planning ahead is becoming increasingly important. The focus should be on educating consumers about sustainable habits, facilitating the reduction of surplus food, and addressing the complex challenges at both the production and consumer levels. If you like this video and want to learn more about what's really going on in Canada, check out this video here. And if this video brought value to you today, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing the video. Thanks for watching.